Hello Haley and Alexis, this is Becky and Sam, and it's Friday. Usually I do these videos after Sam gets fed, so he's very agitated right now. But Haley, I was cracking up when you were talking about masks and David Tennant and Sam, so I thought I would show you some Sam in this video. And look, he's right in front of David Tennant and everything. Soft kitty, warm kitty. Giant ball of fur. Angry kitty, hungry kitty, purr, purr, purr. He actually is purring a lot even though he's really hungry. And squirmy. Poor Sam. Poor kitty cat. Look at him though, he's so big and fluffy. Oh, Sam. Shammy Sam. I'm so mean to him. You poor, poor kitty. Oh. Oh, he's so mad at me. So angry. But he still has 20 minutes to wait. 20 minutes for him until dinner. That poor cat. Poor cat, I don't know how he'll survive. Hello again, guys. Sam is now fed and happy and sleeping, so all is good. About your videos, though, the mask thing, I hadn't really thought when I was thinking about like personalities and stuff. It's very true that we have different personalities in different settings, and I hadn't thought of that at all, and I guess I still haven't given it much thought. It's just another layer to this crazy thing. But then Alexis was saying that yeah, in the last video I was kind of miffed at vlogs, but not really. I mean, mostly I was angry at myself for not being able to do them, and she said that's just hormones. And I completely forgot. I wasn't thinking about hormones. That's something that affects all of our moods in a very real way. And it's, I guess, maybe kind of like my vitamin D. It just kind of makes me angry. That little chemical fluctuations can influence our moods, but I guess that's how life works, so I'm going to let that go for now. Yeah. Genetics, though, on the other hand, hold on, I think some people are home. Yeah, my dad's home. Exciting. Genetics just kind of make me angry. You can't pick your family. My aunt was telling my sisters and I the other weekend that she has Cowden's disease, or whatever that is. So she's had thyroid surgery 3 times and breast cancer surgery twice, and it's genetic. So, I mean, she's my aunt, but also my grandma had breast cancer. So, yay, genetics! That's looking good for my future. Speaking of genetics, I'll talk about the conservation remix for a second. The third speaker in the agriculture section was talking about genetically modified or genetically engineered food, crops, plants, whatever, which is what I wrote my last conservation paper, environmental studies paper on. So I wish I'd gone to this thing before I wrote that paper, but it's not, I can't put off my papers until I've learned everything that I possibly can. But it was really cool because her husband works in organic agriculture, so she thought of something that I never even thought of, as combining genetic engineering with organic, sustainable agriculture. Wow. So that's pretty cool. I guess I'm a bit more pro genetic engineering now. I'm always like fluctuating on that. Like, is it good? Is it not? I really don't know. It's kind of both. You just have to be careful with it. I guess I'll move on to Paper Towns. I actually finished Paper Towns a week ago, right after I did my vlog. So it's been a while since I read or thought about it, but I'll go ahead and do some discussion questions, and you guys who have finished it more recently, just add stuff and maybe it'll jog my memory a bit, and yeah. The first question I saw, I don't think we need to go through all the questions. There are kind of a lot of them. But one of the first ones that was really interesting to me was, discuss the scene where Q finally finds Margot. How does her reaction to seeing her friends make you feel, and do you believe that she didn't want Q to come after her? I just have to say that I was kind of disappointed that she hadn't planned for all of this and she didn't want them to find her, because the clues, I mean, they were difficult clues, I suppose. I mean, when she painted over the thing in the mini mall, and, but some of them were definitely set up by her. I found it hard to believe that she didn't set up the holes in the wall, and I thought they made that kind of obvious in the book, what with Quentin putting up his own maps in his room. But then why would she leave the map in the mini mall if she didn't want them to find it? Why would she leave all the books there? So I don't know. I was kind of disappointed that she hadn't planned the whole thing out. But in the first two parts of the book, it was all about Quentin believing that she was this adventure, that she was something more than just a girl. And so I guess I'm glad that she hadn't planned it out, because that made you realize that she was just a person. So yeah, I guess I can believe that she didn't want them to come after her. It's kind of difficult, but and how did it make me feel, the way she greeted them? I thought at first it was typical of Margot. It's not, I can't say it's what I expected. But that she was just all calm and collected, and then she got angry at them. I thought that was good. They kind of revealed slowly that she hadn't planned it, so yeah, maybe you guys can elaborate more on that scene. I thought it was fairly well done. So, next question. This could be a very long vlog. I'm sorry. The next question is, why do you think that Q makes the decision he does at the end of the book? And do you agree with his decision to turn down Margot's invitation? I don't have a whole lot to say on that. I'm just really glad that he did turn down her invitation, because I'm just glad that he wasn't so willing to do anything that Margot wanted him to do, that he was his own person at the end, and he stuck with his plans and didn't change them for Margot. So I guess I was proud of him for that, but there never really was a point in the book where he wanted to drop everything, drop his life, to go run away with Margot. So that was good. I thought it was cool how, this is another question, how the definition of paper towns changed throughout the book. It was kind of slow, the transitions throughout the book, but cool that there were so many definitions. Maybe kind of unrealistic that they didn't find all the definitions at once, because there's a whole omnictionary, I almost said Wikipedia, omnictionary page on paper towns. I don't really remember all the stages. I know there was the subdivisions, and then there was the fake places on maps. Was there a third one? Seems like, I mean, this book is divided, there probably was a third. I just don't remember it. I'm not really sure how that relates to the mystery or the themes of the book. Maybe you guys can shed some light on that. Next question, this is just kind of most of the end questions. But which character's version of the real Margot do I agree with most? I like Quentin's version of Margot. It was almost kind of a letdown that she wasn't that version. But, I mean, that's the message of the book, is that she was a person. So, like I've said before. I don't... What's the girl's name other than Margot? Don't remember. I guess I kind of liked her version. I ended up liking that girl more than I expected I would. What was her name? Lacey. Lacey? I think that was her name. Honestly, I can't really remember their versions, but if you guys have any answers to that, that'd be cool. Do I think Margot meant to give her friends a false impression of her true self? I don't think so. I think that's just what we do. She was definitely hiding a big part of her life on purpose, more so than I think a lot of us do, more so than I do, anyway. I mean, hanging out in the mini mall, and, I mean, her journal was a big secret thing, but people have journals, that's normal. So, I guess, yeah, I think she did intend to give her friends a false impression of her true self to a greater extent than I think most people usually do. So I guess I can applaud her for that, even if she didn't turn out to be everything that Quentin thought she was. She was more in a different way, which is kind of cool, maybe. One thing that stuck with me, and I think I mentioned this a couple of vlogs ago, is the mirrors and windows thing that Quentin's parents talked about. I was supposed to go back and look at that, but I didn't. I thought it was really cool, though. I think the mirrors was, by looking at someone else, you see more of yourself. I guess I don't have any personal experience with that, and I can't really think of it, but it's a cool idea, and I had some ideas when I was reading about it. And the windows, like people say eyes are the windows to your soul, but just being able to see bits of a person, like small bits at a time, that's cool. But I think the most important question is the coolest one to me is which philosophy of life do you most agree with? The strings, that was Margot's idea, or Whitman's grass, or Quentin's cracked vessel. I liked the strings at first. Quentin ultimately didn't like that so much because it was more fatal than it might need to be, than life really is, perhaps. But if there's a possibility of creating new strings, Joanna's going to interrupt me in a second, so I'll be right back. Yeah, so I think the strings is, Quentin's right, it's kind of severe, but I think if you can make new strings, then it's not quite so severe. It kind of adapts for change and growth in a person. You can make strings, you can lose strings, you aren't like born with a certain number of strings and then lose them one by one. And I think that's kind of the flaw in the others that I see. Well, not in the grass. I agree with Quentin. I don't like the grass because you really cannot become another person. It's a nice idea for a poem, because you can understand things through writing and through just thinking about things. You can come to understand them, but not a person. There was so much that Quentin didn't know about Margot. He learned a lot, but he's still not anywhere close to being her. So I really would like to stay away. I really disagree with the idea of being able to become another person. So I mean, I like the interconnectedness of the grass and the life and death that it implies. That's nice. And then the cracked vessel. I had a lot of thoughts about that when I read it last week, and I don't remember most of them. But I do kind of disagree with the idea that you start out as an uncracked, watertight vessel, and then you get these cracks. I don't think that's much like life at all. Because people change. And it works for the book. Margot started out, I mean, Margot started out as an idea that Quentin had, and then he saw through her cracks and saw more of who she really was. So it works for the book, but not everyone hides their life, I think, as much as Margot does. Maybe that's just me. But I don't like the idea that we start out as a watertight vessel. I mean, we choose, maybe if we meet someone, like, midway through our life, but like when we're children, there aren't huge things that we're hiding. I guess we can't start when we're children. So then I don't really know where it starts. Maybe when you meet a person, they're a watertight vessel. But it's still completely up to them how much of themselves they want to show. It's not like life breaks you down until everyone can see you for your true self. That's not really how it works. And I don't think that's how it works in relationships either. That, to an extent, I guess, you meet a person, there's a first impression, maybe that's kind of a watertight vessel, and then maybe you see them more vulnerable, or you learn more about them, and so maybe those are cracks. I'm not really sure what the cracking, what creates the cracks, though. So I'd like to hear what you guys think of those philosophies. I can't really sum up my ideas concisely because I'm still bad at doing vlogs and talking like this. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good book. I'm glad we read it. And, I learned about paper towns in that book, which was cool. Yeah, if there are other questions you guys want to discuss, maybe I'll skim back over the book and remind myself of it. I don't read fast, and I usually have a pretty good, retention of things that I read, but skimming, again, helps. So, with that, I don't think there's anything else I have to say. This is probably a very long vlog. I've gone back to editing it, so it will take ages and ages to upload. And goodbye. I will see you guys on Saturday and Monday. Bye. Hold on. I need to... Bye.